Lil Scrappy just blew the lid off something so scandalous, so jaw-dropping. Even longtime fans of love and hip-hop are struggling to pick their jaws up off the floor. What started as a subtle Instagram live turned into a full-blown expose that has Kirk Frost and Young Jock scrambling to clean up the mess. Scrappy didn't just spill tea, he unleashed a whole pot of boiling drama that's threatening to burn down the very foundation of their so-called brotherhood. "I kept quiet out of loyalty," Scrappy said, his voice thick with frustration. "But I ain't finna let them play me like I'm a fool. They've been moving funny behind my back. And now, the truth coming out. Fans are shocked. Insiders are scrambling. And the streets are buzzing with whispers of betrayal, secret deals, and moves so shady, even Mona Scott ain't seen this level of chaos before." According to Scrappy, both Kirk and Jock have been orchestrating behind the scenes plays, money schemes, sneaky alliances, and even backdoor betrayals that have left the ADL cast divided. "They smilin' in my face," Scrappy said, eyes narrowing while trying to cut me out the picture. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, Scrappy dropped the bombshell: there's video proof. That's right. Footage exists that could shake up friendships, relationships, and reputations forever. The footage hasn't been released yet, but if what Scrappy says is true, we're looking at one of the most explosive scandals to ever hit the franchise. Meanwhile, Kirk is dodging questions, Jock is acting unbothered, and social media is tearing them apart. So buckle up, because we're diving deep into every shocking twist, every betrayal, and every dirty secret in this unfolding ADL drama. What did Kirk and Jock do? Why is Scrappy speaking now? And what happens when loyalty turns to vengeance? Let's get into it. It all started with what seemed like a regular night in Atlanta: bottles popping, music blasting, and the usual VIP energy bouncing off the walls. But behind the flashing lights and champagne toasts, something dark was brewing, and Lil Scrappy had finally had enough. For weeks, he'd been quiet, biting his tongue as whispers swirled around him. People were acting different. Deals were falling through, and opportunities he should have been a part of mysteriously vanished. "At first, I thought it was just bad timing," Scrappy later admitted, eyes locked on the camera during his now viral live stream. "But then I started putting the pieces together, and it always came back to two people: Kirk and Jock." What Scrappy discovered wasn't just pettiness or competition, it was betrayal. Real betrayal. According to Scrappy, Kirk Frost and Young Jock, longtime friends and fellow cast members, had been making secret power plays behind his back. "They was out here macking moves in my face, but keeping the real business in the shadows," he said, the hurt and anger bubbling beneath every word. What really set things off was a deal that Scrappy had been working on with a major promoter, something that could have taken his music career to the next level. "I pitched the whole thing," he explained. "Had the vision, the rollout, everything. And guess who ended up getting the gig after I got iced out? Jock. Out of nowhere. Man didn't even show no interest in the beginning." Scrappy knew something was off, but what really shattered him was what came next: a leaked email from the promoter's assistant revealing that Kirk had vouched for Jock behind closed doors and told the team Scrappy wasn't reliable. That word stuck in his chest like a knife. Reliable? After everything I'd done for them? After all the times I showed up, held it down, stayed loyal? He vented on live. "Y'all trying to bury me with lies now?" Fans were immediately split, some refusing to believe that Kirk and Jock would really sabotage Scrappy, while others pointed to years of simmering tension and backhanded comments that suddenly made perfect sense. But this wasn't just about business. Scrappy dropped a bigger bombshell: Kirk and Jock had been holding secret meetings, even plotting to launch their own joint venture, a new entertainment label that completely cut Scrappy out. "They call it Unity Sounds," he revealed. "Ain't nothing united about two men scheming behind their brother's back." The name alone had fans doing double takes because just a month earlier, Scrappy had teased his own label under a similar name: United Hustle. "Now ain't that funny," Scrappy said with a bitter laugh. "You take my idea, remix the name, and act like y'all built it from scratch?" Social media went nuclear. Screenshots surfaced of alleged texts between Jock and Kirk, discussing how to spin the narrative and keep Scrap distracted. One text allegedly from Jock read, "He ain't gonna see it coming. We'll make it look like he dropped the ball himself." Whether the texts were real or not, the damage was done. Scrappy was furious. "I was out here calling y'all brothers, inviting y'all to my table. Meanwhile, y'all in the kitchen cooking up betrayal." Things escalated when Scrappy pulled out his receipts, photos, text messages, and even a voice note where Jock could allegedly be heard saying, "We just gotta get Scrap out the way first." That voice note sent fans into a frenzy. Comments flooded in Jock and Kirk are snakes. Scrappy deserves better. This finna break the whole cast apart. And break it did. Behind the scenes, the rest of the Love and Hip Hop ATL cast was in shock. Rashida, always loyal to her man Kirk, tried to stay neutral at first, but even she couldn't ignore the smoke. If what Scrappy's saying is true, she told producers, then this ain't just shady, it's disgusting. Carly Red jumped in with her signature messy energy, whispering to anyone who'd listen that she knew something was off and that Kirk and Jock had been acting real suspicious during a recent group event. Spice weighed in too, calling the situation a betrayal of the highest level and saying that she didn't know who to trust anymore. But it wasn't just the cast reacting. Fans were digging into old footage, looking for signs, rewatching scenes, analyzing body language. One clip resurfaced of Jock laughing awkwardly during a conversation where Scrappy talked about their brotherhood and loyalty. The comments under the post were brutal. "Look at Jock's face, dude was plotting even then." Kirk got that guilty look like he hiding something. Scrappy always too real for these clowns. But if anyone thought Scrappy was just going to vent and move on, they were dead wrong. He took it a step further, announcing that he was done playing nice and ready to let the world see the full picture. "I got footage," he declared. "Real footage. Y'all think I'm bluffing? Keep watching." That statement sent the internet into a frenzy. What footage? What proof? Could this really be the end of ATL's longtime trio? Scrappy gave just a taste, a grainy clip showing Kirk and Jock at a private lounge with a mystery man, going over contracts. The audio wasn't crystal clear, but fans were quick to analyze every syllable. "That's definitely Jock saying, 'Don't let Scrappy find out,'" one viewer commented. Another wrote, "I slowed it down and Kirk says split it 70-30 if we cut him." The betrayal felt cinematic. It was like watching a mob movie unfold in real time, except the pain was real, the friendships were real, and the consequences about to be explosive. Scrappy, usually the peacemaker when drama broke out, now looked like a man ready for war. "I tried to talk it out," he said. "I tried to give him chances, but all they did was play me. So now, I'm taking it to the people. Let the fans decide who's real and who's fake." And with that, the lines were drawn, the battle set, and the streets of Atlanta buzzing like never before. But just as Scrappy was preparing to release the full video evidence, something happened that nobody, absolutely nobody, saw coming. Mere hours before Scrappy was set to release the full footage that would allegedly blow the lid off Kirk and Jock's sneaky empire building, his phone lit up with a message that stopped him cold. It was from an anonymous number, and all it said was, "Be careful who's watching." Attached was a blurred-out image Scrappy stepping out of his car the night before, followed by a dark vehicle in the background. It wasn't just a warning. It was intimidation. Scrappy stared at the photo, his breath catching in his chest. "So now they trying to scare me into silence?" he muttered, pacing across his kitchen. He immediately showed the message to his cousin, who had been helping him organize the video footage. "Yo, Scrap, this don't feel right," the cousin said. "This is bigger than you think. What if this ain't just Jock and Kirk? What if there's other people involved?" But Scrappy was past fear now. He was in full war mode. "Let him watch," he snapped. "I got nothing to hide." But they do. He knew that once the footage dropped, there'd be no turning back. Friendships would end. Reputations would be shattered. But the truth had to come out. Meanwhile, Kirk and Jock had clearly gotten wind of what was coming. Both went on social media to try and get ahead of the storm. Kirk posted a vague story. "Real ones don't talk. They move in silence." Jock, on the other hand, went live and tried to play the whole thing off as a misunderstanding. "Ain't nobody trying to cut Scrap out of nothing," he said, chuckling nervously. "People love Drama. That's all, this is just a little miscommunication. But his eyes betrayed him. Fans picked it up instantly. He looking stressed, one commenter wrote. That smile fake as hell, said another. And then, as if fate itself couldn't stay silent, Rashida broke her silence and shocked everyone. She posted a tweet late at night that simply read, I told him not to go behind Scrap's back. He ain't listen. That tweet sent the entire internet into meltdown. Rashida, usually quiet, loyal to a fault, was now confirming the whispers. Fans started begging her to say more. We need the tea. One tweet read, Sis, blink twice if Kirk betrayed Scrap, joked another. Rashida didn't elaborate, but she didn't delete the tweet either. That silence spoke louder than any confession. Meanwhile, Scrappy finally dropped the first clip. It was short, just 40 seconds, but it hit like a grenade. The video showed Kirk, Jock, and the promoter who ghosted Scrappy sitting in a studio, papers laid out on the table. Jock was heard saying, we gotta tighten this up before he finds out. Kirk responded, he think this his lane, but it's ours now. The clip cut off just as the promoter added, Scrap's brand ain't strong enough for this rollout. That one line detonated social media. They plotted. They admitted it. This ain't rumors, this is facts. Fans screamed across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Scrappy followed the video with a statement. I tried to protect y'all. I tried to keep it quiet. But y'all made y'all moves in the dark, so now I'm shining the light. Jock, clearly shaken, went silent. No posts, no lives, nothing. But Kirk? He fought back. He went on his own live stream and called the footage doctored, saying, that video's edited. Y'all don't know the full context. But fans weren't buying it. Don't play the edit game now, one viewer said. Y'all said what you said. Scrappy responded by teasing a second video. This one, he promised, would show them talking about cutting him out financially. They took bread out my kid's mouth, he said. Y'all really think I'm not gonna defend that? The fallout started hitting fast. Sponsors pulled out of Kirk and Jock's upcoming event. A venue canceled the Unity Sounds showcase. Even some of their longtime friends started backing away. I'm not getting involved in no mess, Safari told the producer on set. I'm trying to build my brand, not bury it. But not everyone remained neutral. Bambi, Scrappy's ex, shocked fans when she commented on one of his posts, they always been jealous of your heart. You too real for fake energy. The comment went viral in minutes. People began speculating. Was this the start of a Bambi and Scrappy reconciliation? Or was she just adding fuel to the fire? Either way, her words added another layer of heat to a fire that was already out of control. Even Erica Mena couldn't resist jumping in, tweeting, that city full of snakes in silk shirts. And just like that, the cast became more divided than ever. VH1 producers leaned into the chaos, rescheduling filming to capture real-time reactions. A producers group chat was leaked, showing messages like, this might be the most explosive season yet, and do not let Jock cancel his next scene, this needs to play out on camera. Meanwhile, Scrappy was preparing to release the full video, but before he could, another curveball landed. An old friend from the music industry reached out and told him he wasn't the only one Kirk and Jock had burned. They did me dirty too, the man said. I got my own receipts. Wanna combine forces? Scrappy didn't hesitate. Let's do it, he replied. Within 24 hours, a mini documentary was announced, Loyalty Ain't Free, The Kirk and Jock Files. A trailer dropped showing clips of backroom meetings, whispered phone calls, and DMs from other cast members claiming they were used and manipulated. The documentary wasn't just a passion project. It was a full-blown expose. And as the release date approached, fans were ravenous. This better be longer than the Janet Jackson doc, one fan joked. I want scenes, tears, receipts, everything. And Scrappy promised it all. But behind the scenes, Kirk and Jock were scrambling. Legal threats began surfacing. Kirk's team tried to stop the release, claiming defamation. Jock allegedly contacted producers privately, begging to talk things out before things got uglier. But Scrappy wasn't budging. You had a chance to talk. Now it's time to listen. The tension was unbearable. Fans were glued to their screens. Media outlets were calling it the most gripping reality scandal in recent memory. And in the eye of the storm was Lil Scrappy, once loyal to the bone, now sharper than ever. And just when the dust seemed like it was about to settle, a last-minute twist hit the internet like a thunderclap. An anonymous account dropped a full uncut video, one that Scrappy hadn't released himself, showing Jock and Kirk having a heated conversation in a dimly lit parking lot outside a lounge just weeks before the drama exploded. In the video, Jock could be heard saying, "Scrap ain't built for this level, man. He too emotional. He gone mess up the brand." Kirk nodded, lighting a cigar, and muttered, "That's why we do it quiet." He finds out later. So what? Business ain't personal. That one line, "business ain't personal," became the dagger fans couldn't unsay. Scrappy, upon seeing the leak, went live immediately. He was visibly shaken. "So now y'all recordin' conversations in the dark, making plans like I'm some side character," he said, voice cracking with fury. "Kirk, Jock, y'all done played yourselves." The chat blew up. They got caught. Scrappy always been real. They never respected that. Business ain't personal? Wow, that's cold. Scrappy's mother, Mama D, entered the chat with her signature fire, typing, "A mother's intuition don't lie. I been knew them boys was fake." The betrayal had now crossed into bloodlines. Kirk and Jock remained eerily quiet. Fans speculated they were preparing a legal counterstrike, but others believed they were simply hiding because they knew they had no way to spin it now. That's when the producers of Love and Hip Hop stepped in, inviting all three men to a sit-down on camera. Scrappy was down immediately. "Let's do it, face to face. I ain't running from nobody." Kirk initially declined, but after Rashida allegedly told him, "You need to fix this before you lose more than your rep," he agreed. Jock, on the other hand, ghosted the crew for days before finally sending a message through his manager saying, "I'll show up, but I'm not apologizing for success." That alone nearly derailed the reunion. The day of filming arrived like the Super Bowl of drama. Scrappy walked in first, black hoodie, shades, and the kind of energy that made it clear he wasn't here for reconciliation. He was here for retribution. Kirk came next, looking tense, tugging at his shirt collar. Jock arrived last, visibly exhausted but still holding onto his charm like a shield. The three sat down. The cameras rolled. Silence filled the room. And then Scrappy leaned forward and said, "Y'all wanna tell me to my face that this wasn't betrayal?" Jock chuckled nervously. "It was business moves, bro. Ain't nobody out here trying to hurt you on purpose." Scrappy shot back. "Then why y'all had to hide it? Why the secret meetings? Why the fake smiles?" Kirk cleared his throat. "Because you get emotional. Scrap. You take everything personal. We didn't want to mess up the vibe." Scrappy's voice rose. "You messed up the vibe the second y'all lied. You ain't just hurt me. You broke trust." Chilling line over a slow beat from his new single. "You think the storm done passed, but the clouds still movin'." Betrayal got a sequel. And this time I'm choosing Fade to Black. To be continued. And just like that, the truth that had been hiding in the shadows came crashing into the spotlight, and it was messier, deeper, and more personal than anyone ever imagined. Lil Scrappy didn't just expose a couple of shady business deals. He pulled back the curtain on years of hidden agendas, quiet betrayal, and the cold reality that sometimes the ones closest to you are the ones digging the deepest knives. Kirk Frost and young Jock might have thought they were playing chess, but Scrappy flipped the whole board, built his own table, and sat at the head like a true king. Add in Benzino's unexpected cameo as the secret mastermind. That's not just drama, that's pure cinema. The friendships are fractured, the fans are furious, and the future of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta will never be the same again. But we want to hear from you, yes, you watching this right now. Do you think Kirk and Jock truly betrayed Scrappy? Or was it all just misunderstood business? Was Benzino the puppet master all along? Or just a bitter ghost from Scrappy's past? And most importantly, do you believe Scrappy will rise stronger than ever? Or will this war keep dragging him back into the chaos? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. We want your theories, your takes, and your unfiltered truth. Don't forget to hit that like button if this tea had you shook. Smash that subscribe button for more explosive updates, and tap that notification bell so you never miss a single scandal. Because in the world of fame, loyalty, and secret power moves. The drama never really ends. It just reloads. Stay watching, stay wondering, and stay ready because this ATL story is far from over.